Hello and welcome to Cooking the Books with Heather. Today we're going to make a really quick recipe from the Dishoom cookbook. We're going to be making Raita. I think it's Raita. I'm not sure. I will have to look that up. By the time I thought about it, all of my devices were in use for recording, so we'll check before the end. It is kind of like tzatziki. It's a yogurt and cucumber based sauce that dip side that you can serve with anything, but they say it specifically goes well with biryani. So we're going to go ahead and make this now because it does need to sit in the refrigerator for a little while for the best results. But I'm starting with full fat Greek yogurt. I've measured it out by weight into this bowl, and we are going to add some cold water. So we're going to thin this out a little bit. And in here I have some, well, they call for castor sugar. Granulated sugar is the closest we have here in the States. And some fine sea salt. And we're going to mix this nicely. We're going to mix it up just until it's smooth. So I've got a whisk to help me with that because it's kind of hard sometimes with the yogurt and water. That's why I got a relatively large bowl too. It's probably the best I can do. It'll be fine. We're putting lumpy stuff in it anyway. Now we're going to add some red onion, finely diced. Yes, finely diced. And I've weighed this out. I was very happy that this had a weight because the amount of an onion it said was way more than the weight according to the size. Onions are different sizes, right? I've got some de-seeded cucumber. I've left the skin on. I'm using one of those mini snacking cucumbers, which is a little bit like an English cucumber. So there wasn't a whole lot of seeds, but I did take them out. And some de-seeded tomato. Now there's a little bit more in here than the recipe calls for. So I think I'm not going to quite put all of that in there. Just because I had 2 little tomatoes and it was a little bit more than the recipe calls for as far as weight goes. And yeah, I de-seeded that, and then it just says diced, but I diced it relatively the same size as the other stuff. And now the last two ingredients that go in now are some coriander, cilantro, and I got even the stems, with the sprigs. Not all of the stems, but most of them, the thin ones, and some mint leaves. And I'm just going to stir it up. And that is it for this recipe for now, because it needs to sit in the refrigerator for at least 20 minutes. It says a couple hours is better, and it will keep in the fridge for a couple days. And then we're going to take a little bit of cumin seed and toast it and just crush it a little bit using a mortar and pestle and just top it right before we serve it. All of that is fairly simple, and we've done it before. We did it, I don't think in this book, but we've done it recently a lot from in the I Am From Here book, and I'll try to find where we toasted seeds and I don't know if we crushed them with a mortar and pestle, but I will do that this time. But it's just, we're going for a rustic crush, not a fine grind on it this time. But anyway, we will let you know what we think of this and show you what it looks like next. On this episode of Cooking the Books with Heather, you watched me make Raita from the Dishoom cookbook. This one. I did look it up. It is Raita, which is, I believe, is how I've probably been saying it my whole life. But then as soon as I got on camera, I second-guessed myself. But that is how you pronounce this. And it's a little bit like tzatziki. It's cucumber. It also has, I don't know if all of it does, but this also has, so it had tomato and red onion and some herbs in it. And it just is a good accompaniment to a lot of dishes on your Indian plate. It helps kind of cool down your palate if you get something a little too spicy because of the yogurt and it's a good thing to have. It was really good with the biryani, which hopefully you'll see after this, because it's a little bit of a drier dish, and so it's nice to have a little bit of this to go with it, a little bit more vegetables. I did use my very, very thick Greek yogurt for that, but I think that works to your favor with something like Raita that has vegetables in it that have a lot of water. So it did not end up super watery. It was still pretty thick, which I enjoy for something like this. It's definitely thinned it out a bit with the cucumber in it. And you do thin it out with some cold water as well. So if yours is, you can always add a little bit more water if you want it thinner or thicker, add a little bit less. So you don't really have to, you can have it how you like it. I like mine on the thicker side, and with my yogurt, that was really easy and the recipe worked out well. But if you don't, you can always mix it up without the water and then add water after it sits for a while to see exactly how you like it. But yeah, it's super easy. It's something you can easily throw together as long as you have those ingredients around, and it kind of just needs to sit for a little bit to marry all the flavors together. And that's it. It's a super simple, easy side dish to put with anything almost in this book. So if you've enjoyed watching me make this, please give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button and come back and watch me make something else next week.